We lost an icon today. Long live Angus Cloud, one of the stars of HBO,
Euphoria.
25 years old. Unfortunately, it appears as though Mr. Cloud,
Erased himself.
in light of his father recently passing and being laid to rest last week, it's very tough, because when I first got the news personally, I'm in the hospital, visiting my father who's terminally ill, and it was just kind of a whirlwind of emotions, as a Euphoria fan, somebody who wanted to continue to see Angus, strive and thrive in his career, and I wanted him to play Mac Miller in a biopic. Yeah, it's just, not to sound cliche, but it's just so crazy, how short life is, and how no matter what amount of stardom that young man would have had, it's, to know that he is not alone. And I wish, I wish just somebody in the family or somebody could have, held him and leaned on him. Foxy, what was your reaction to Angus's passing?
Well, I was doing research and I was refreshing my email, and I just all of a sudden had like something in my email and it said that he had passed, and it took me, and I was like, wait, what? Because it just didn't feel like it was real for a second. I opened up, it was like a real article, and it was within like 30 minutes of it being announced. Apparently, he passed last week, but the family just announced today. So, a little bit shocked. And also, it's kind of one of those things where it's like when life imitates art, which is just always really real. And I think the more time that goes by and the older I get, I see so much of that. And it's just, it's always a shame when you lose somebody so talented. Angus Cloud was pretty universally loved by anybody that consumed Euphoria. He was a fan favorite. He was one of those artists, I think, that was authentic in his art, where he didn't really have to act like much more than himself. So the role Fezco came very naturally to him. I know that he had been kind of struggling for a while with drugs, and it's just really sad when we lose our, people to the battle of addiction and mental health. And that's why we talk about mental health check-in every single week on Beatbox, because it's so important for us to just have that openness as like a society where we can talk about our struggles, so we don't just continuously lose people. So rest in peace, Angus Cloud.
Rest in peace, Angus Cloud. And, to carry that same spirit with this mental health check-in, on a personal note for me, I wanted to take a moment to bring our mental health topic to this: balancing family and career during a crisis. Now, with the family crisis that I'm going through, for those of you who have been tuned in to the platform for a while now, you may be aware, for the last 10 months, my father's been suffering from pancreatic cancer and in and out of the hospital. At the same time, I'm going through a bit of a career thingamabob, a pickle, if you will, where because of the WGA and now SAG-AFTRA strike, the television industry is down. And um, when I was working for the Page program, which is, it kind of has its peaks and valleys. Thank you, Aaron. When it kind of has its peaks and valleys to that, on a regular basis, we, got a severe hourly cutback. And then I'm taking a customer service job I'm not really liking. And then, they've been very hands-on with training and hands-on with methods to, support my improvement and, come together around me. But yet, when it's so sparse of a hourly thing where I'm at, where it's like, I'm only doing 6 hours a week, just basically on a Saturday, or maybe, like a weekend if I'm lucky. There's not really an opportunity to really learn, maintain, and repeat. And they might beg to differ on that, but it's just, in the grand scheme of things, I think, when if it's a personal crisis or a family crisis, hey, I was talking to my godmother the other day, and she said, you could be working your dream job, and things could just be too much right now with what I'm dealing with. Like, this is going to be one of the hardest times in my life. So, whether I was, roll in and work with, even if work was great right now, I think that, you know, I'd still be faced with the same amount of challenge and the same amount of pain, and we aren't even in the ninth inning, you know. So, Foxy, have you or anybody you know ever been in a similar situation where, you know, shit's going on at the job, but there's even more shit away from the job?
Yeah, so you know, I am pretty authentic with my presence that you guys get on social media and things like that, but I don't talk about the depth of a lot of what I have gone through just in the past year. I've personally been going through a lot. I really, really did leave the housing industry to be a sex worker again. And I went through this process of losing my career, reigniting all of this, trying to learn the industry and the way that it is post you know, OnlyFans, and it's just completely changing through the pandemic and everything. And also I had a lot of health problems going on, and I got a full hysterectomy in March. So it was at the end of March, and so you guys, I had to heal and still figure out how I could be productive and have you know, a roof over my head still while being a sex worker, healing from like a life-changing surgery. And then all of that, you know, and the crisis of being in this situation with all of this life stress, but having to keep this illusion of being, you know, carefree, sexy, you know, fun all the time. And for me, it was that balancing. You know, it was a family crisis for me because myself and my immediate family, you know, are struggling, and we have had to figure out how to go without and how to accept life and all of the punches that it's thrown all at once in the past year for me. And you know, I'm coming out on top, and it's been just pushing and stuff. But basically, for me, the only way that I can balance it is just to be realistic about my situation and to understand, like, fuck, life is awful and really horrible things happen. And there's not always a reason for everything, but you can find reason in the things that happen. And sometimes the worst things that I've gone through have really helped me to form myself into who I am today. Um, and so for me, it's just kind of like that balance of like knowing that these what's the saying? Rough seas makes skilled sailors.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, you know, it's as cliche as it sounds. It's like almost like what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. So
and it
yeah,
really will.
it really will. So I'm. It's not that, you know, life sucks or it's challenging. Yeah, it's like ups, downs, and turnarounds. I think
Mhm.
these challenging moments are also what, you know, makes the brilliance and the resilience of a person. You know. So
Yeah.
I think it's just, you know, we get stronger every day when we deal through this real adversity.
Yep. You gotta, as Anna Nicole double Janine. You guys give her a follow. She really was Anna Nicole Smith's
Yeah.
body double, you guys. But as she said, lemons into lemonade. Sometimes that lemonade is gonna not taste great, but it's still gonna quench your thirst.
Right. All right.
It's the beatbox, baby.